What would life be like without connections? Would the world progress? Without people working together, what would we accomplish? Without connections, would we win? Would we stay curious? Be inspired? Take giant leaps for mankind? Things move forward when we make the right connections. At Standard Bank, we have been making the right connections for nearly 150 years. We connect families to their first home, the car that gives them freedom, their first business. We also connect products, sectors, geographies, because while banking can be complex, we strive to make it easier for our customers. If we can be approachable, if we can stay responsive and committed to placing the customer at the core of all we do, our connection can become lifelong. Our pioneering spirit ensures that when we connect with new ideas and unexplored territories, we create opportunities for our customers and for Standard Bank as we face new challenges together. We take pride in linking key emerging markets, striving to develop enduring and professional partnerships that help grow our customers' business. We aim to constantly provide excellent service to our customers and clients, valuing them and treating them with respect. At Standard Bank, we realize the power of a collective approach. Teamwork is at our core and is our true strength. Making connections across business units and within our networks ensures we provide the best solutions for our customers. We are rooted in Africa, and that gives us a unique point of view, a unique attitude, and a unique approach. We don't settle for the obvious. Our insights and experience in emerging markets makes us passionate about making the right connections. We connect Africa to the world and the world to Africa. Making the right connections means really being a relevant part of our communities. We strive to be considerate, to see the potential in each and every person. We know that our success is dependent on the advancement of the markets and societies within which we operate. If we can make the right connections with energy and passion, we can continue to move forward. In the end, it is our ability to see and make connections that others don't. These connections open our eyes. They link us to the world and make us care. The right connections inspire. They unlock opportunities others can't see. Most importantly, making the right connections can change our world.
Firstly, I'd like to congratulate the High Commissioner, the management and staff of the South African High Commission in Lilongwe, Malawi, the government and the people of South Africa on this commemoration of 20 years of freedom. High Commissioner, ladies and gentlemen, as you are aware, Standard Bank was founded in South Africa just over 150 years ago. And the version of Standard Bank you have in Malawi was founded 45 years ago, and Standard Bank South Africa has been part of that journey for the last 12 years. We are proud to be a South African-born bank, but more importantly, we are proud to be an African bank. As you know from our motto, we say they call it Africa, we call it home. This is a powerful statement of declaration on the part of Standard Bank about where we come from and where we see our future. We as a bank are privileged to be a banker of choice for Malawian corporates that are doing business in South Africa, and so too to South African corporates that have chosen to do business in Malawi and base their businesses here. We are proud to be associated with the South African High Commission in celebrating the 20 years of freedom. High Commissioner, ladies and gentlemen, the 20 years of freedom for South Africa has paid a huge dividend. Standard Bank is in Africa because of those 20 years of freedom and the access that obtained from that struggle. Some of us are here in our current positions because of that rich dividend that came out of 20 years of freedom. High Commissioner, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to take this opportunity to salute the fallen and living heroes and heroines that contributed to this freedom. And as the saying goes in South Africa is alive with possibility. We look forward to another 20 years of a democratic dividend coming from this freedom. Thank
you. There is a land where the dawn first cast its glow on mankind's awakening. A land where deserts burst into bloom and mountains rake the sky. There's a land where the earth yields massive riches, both from soil above and deep below, and the sea sculpts endless beaches and craggy cliffs. There's a fledgling nation that turned the tide, that set out on a journey of hope and possibility, and turned that hope into greatness, and that possibility into action. A nation that draws strength from its diversity, courage from its resilience, hope from its unconquerable spirit, and greatness from its ability to rise to any challenge, to overcome any obstacle, to realize any ambition. There's a nation on the move, driven by industry and enterprise, a powerhouse, already ranked with Brazil, Russia, India, and China as one of the leading developing nations in today's fast-changing global economy. A nation of innovators and entrepreneurs, of artists and visionaries, and poets and scientists and engineers. People who seek inspiration in the energies of change, and in so doing inspire the changes that can energize the world. There is a land built on the pillars of sustainability, Ubuntu, diversity, possibility, innovation, and creativity. A land of abundant riches, with a vibrant economy and a unique spirit that strives for success in a brand new world. We are this nation. We are this land. We are South Africa.
There is a place where humanity and industry collide. A place where energy and optimism abound, and progress is a way of life. A place called South Africa. It's a country that applauds enterprise and celebrates diversity. A country that asks not how, but how much. Not if, but when. Not why, but why not. A country that was forged from the alchemy of opposing energies, sparking in each other the birth of new ideas, new opportunities, new and innovative ways of getting things done. South Africa, a young nation proud of its growth and prosperity, positive about its boundless potential, a nation with a restless spirit, a defiant resolve, a relentless determination to break through the stereotypes, to surprise the world with a fresh approach, smash the obstacles in our path, conquer the forces of doubt. Join us. Work with us, build with us, break ground with us, invest with us in South Africa.
Ladies and gentlemen, friends, it gives me great pleasure to address you on this occasion of our 20 years of freedom celebrations. South Africans all over the world are excited at this achievement and are celebrating it accordingly. In Malawi, the South African High Commission is commemorating the 20-year celebrations with focused events aimed at meeting a number of set targets and objectives. Chief among these objectives is enhancing the South African government's strategic bilateral relations with the government of Malawi. These relations provide the platform for a number of mutually beneficial exchanges, and we intend to further develop these and our levels of interaction in the period ahead. The High Commission also has an interest in the people-to-people relations taking place between Malawians and South Africans. I'm very proud to hear of several activities that cover a variety of areas such as sport, tourism, and culture, and I look forward in the period of my tenure to contribute to strengthening these initiatives where possible. Throughout 2014, the High Commission will be holding a series of commemorative events with a variety of key stakeholders that celebrate the South African achievement of 20 years of freedom. I look forward to seeing you there and engaging with you at these events.
Join together all our hearts as one, that we'll be free from fear. Bless our leaders, each and every one, another Malawi.
Thank you. I would like to call to the podium again for the South African High Commissioner, Ms. Mbuyani Mukone, to deliver her remarks.
Honorable Ephraim Chume, Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Republic of Malawi, the Commander of the Malawi Army, General Henry Odilo, Crown Prince Melwa V, Honorable Ministers, Deputy Ministers, and senior government officials here present, Ambassador Jumchena of Zimbabwe and Dean, Ambassador Dr. Vuster of Germany, Ambassador Eidhammer of Norway, Ambassador Jackson of the United States of America, High Commissioner Vanaluma of India, Ambassador He Jun of China, Ambassador Nogueira of Brazil, Ambassador Baum, head of the EU delegation, fellow members of the diplomatic corps, leaders of political parties and non-governmental organizations, South Africans from the diaspora, staff of the South African High Commission, distinguished guests. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Our 20 years of freedom was celebrated in South Africa on Sunday, the 27th of April, 2014. Tonight, we are commemorating 20 years of freedom and democracy. And in so doing, we have a very good story to tell and much to celebrate. Ours is a story of evidence and not so much promise. We achieved democracy at last. Tonight in the celebration, we also pay homage to the life and service of our icon, the first president of a democratic South Africa, Nelson Mandela. We also express our hearty gratitude to our heroes, Oliver Tambo, Walter Sisulu, and other unsung heroes who sacrificed the best years of their lives, and others who gave up their lives in the cause of freedom for all and not for some. We acknowledge the struggle of both black and white, who dared to dream and believe that apartheid would be overcome
and one day be defeated. As God would have it, 20 years ago, this dream was realized. A democratic government took over a country in which there was systematic, legalized approach to the exclusion of the majority of the population. Our beautiful country was defined by repression, separate development, defiance campaigns, and the struggle for freedom. It is also very important to note that a civil war was averted when those opposed to change and democracy made last-ditch attempts on the eve of our first general elections to create an environment of fear and panic. The assassination of Chris Hani also threatened to plunge the country into disaster, but owing to leaders such as Nelson Mandela, a commitment to navigate peacefully through the sabotage was made diplomatically. Ladies and gentlemen, lest we forget, the democratic government inherited a nation divided both politically and economically. However, true to the commitments and ideals expressed in the 1955 Freedom Charter, our government began the hard work of reconciling the nation and creating a better South Africa for all who lived in it. 1994 ushered in a new era which saw South Africa's isolation from the world stage and set a platform for enormous domestic challenges to address, but also for repairing and strengthening relations internationally. Ladies and gentlemen, 20 years later, we have a very good story to tell, and it's a story that only South Africans can tell. Allow me now to highlight our successes against the major challenges we faced and perhaps still face. After all, 20 years is a very, very short period to completely overturn tribulations of 300 years. In education, we have recorded phenomenal achievements because pre-1994, education was a privilege and not a right enjoyed by all in our country. In 1994, there were 9 separate race-based education departments, and these had to be collapsed, and one department responsive to the needs of all South African learners had to be created. To date, a record number of 700,000 children attended grade R, 9 million children on the government school nutrition program, 8 million children do not pay school fees. There are 15 million people with real jobs. 3.7 million job opportunities have been created since 2009, and additional 300,000 work opportunities created on power station sites. In 1994, these had to be collapsed into one ministry and department responsive to the needs of all learners. Despite the remarkable achievements in the economy of South Africa, we are acutely aware that there remains 2 parallel economies and is incapable of self-generated growth and development. It is regulated by community norms and based on small cash transactions. The challenges of the second economy are testimony to the fact that many years of colonialism and apartheid cannot be addressed in a period of 20 years only. Notwithstanding, government remains responsive to this challenge. It's a major challenge because political freedom and economic freedom go hand in hand. We remain hard at work through the National Development Plan and framework of new economic growth path, which are aimed at enhancing growth, employment creation, and equity. South Africa's approach to public employment programs has been relatively unique internationally because it cuts across a range of sectors and involves all spheres of government and the non-profit sector with both urban and rural focus. The Extended Public Works Program contributes towards supporting employment generation and happily on target to achieve 4.5 million work opportunities in 2014. South Africa's economy is doing well, and we now export diversified products as opposed to the past when only gold exports were the economic driver. Today we boast a robust manufacturing sector, and along with the identification of other sectors such as tourism that boost the economy. In modesty, we concede that despite numerous challenges, we're open for business and there's increasing interest in doing business with South Africa. Since 1994, 3 million new homes have been delivered, 500 informal settlements have been replaced with quality housing and basic services since 2009. 95% of households with access to water and still counting. Let me also point out that one of the ongoing challenges facing the government in the delivery of decent accommodation is urbanization and migration from all over the world into South Africa in search of economic opportunity. It is also therefore important for me to state here that our government has spent enormous resources on infrastructure development linked to rural development, because the dire need to create job opportunities in the areas where people live has been identified. Naturally, a holistic approach was adopted so that rural population has homes with access to basic necessities such as potable water and electricity. But we're acutely aware that much more needs to be done. In the case of women, ladies and gentlemen, the decimation of apartheid brought not just relief, but also unshackled the heinous patriarchal system, which had introduced policies and laws that oppressed women, including white women. Women were not allowed to vote, were denied the right to equal pay for equal work, and were discriminated against in the workplace because they could not occupy certain positions. We're encouraged to state that post-1994, the role and participation of women in every sphere of society in South Africa is at continuously growing levels, and we believe that we're redressing the unique form of oppression that women in South Africa suffered. In this regard, we have ratified the Convention on All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, the CEDAW, which led to a review of all our policies, legislation, and programs impacting on women. We're particularly proud of this achievement, but acknowledge that we still have much more to do. Let me categorically state that the appointment of women to high-level positions is based on merit. Over the past 20 years, South Africa has registered many achievements. There are just too many to mention, but chief amongst these are the South African Constitution, which is hailed internationally as the most progressive charter with the rights of all citizens enshrined in the Constitution, including the right to sexual preference. It is also necessary for me to highlight the vibrancy of our Chapter 9 institutions that we refer to as the institutions that protect our democracy. Needless to say that in the last 20 years, they've been busy and have stood the test necessary to vindicate their independence. The Constitutional Court, which was ushered in 14 February 1995 and remains the highest law in the land. Thank you, just too many achievements. As you may be aware, South Africa produces a BMW and Mercedes-Benz for sale in overseas markets. The identification of the automotive industry as a key growth sector was imperative, and it laid the basis for the production of these vehicles in the country. The coat of arms of South Africa was introduced on Freedom Day, 27 April 2000. Our motto, Ke Iqara Ke, is written in the Khoisan language of the Kam people and translates literally to diverse people unite. In 2001, the first World Conference Against Racism, Racial Discrimination, Xenophobia, and Related Intolerance was held in Durban. In 2006, the South African film Tsotsi won an Oscar in the Best Foreign Film category. South Africa was selected for the first time as a non-permanent member of the UN Security Council, 2008, and it served a second non-permanent term, 2011 and 2012. This is an achievement we remain proud of. 18 July 2009, former President Nelson Mandela's 91st birthday marked the inaugural Mandela Day. The United Nations adopted it as a day for global humanitarian action, calling it Nelson Mandela International Day. South Africa became a full member of BRICS, comprising Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa at the end of 2010. Our participation in BRICS solidifies relations with like-minded countries committed to advance the priorities aimed at addressing challenges of countries of the South. When the announcement was made that South Africa would host the 2010 FIFA World Soccer Cup, what followed was a significant amount of not just pessimism, but Afro-pessimism from those who believe South Africa just did not know what it would take to host a successful World Cup. Issues around crime and ill-preparedness permeated the international media, and the world was skeptical while South Africa spent little time countering these statements, but rather stayed focused on the task ahead. To date, the 2010 FIFA Soccer World Cup remains one of the most successful World Cups ever hosted and assisted to raise awareness to the fact that South Africa is live with possibility and that the African continent has immense and relatively untapped potential. By the way, this story is not just told by us. Even the then pessimists now say the story likewise. The period that characterized the World Cup in South Africa also saw all South Africans demonstrate a commitment to their country with high levels of patriotism and a spirit of working together. This is something that we should be doing every day. As Brazil is preparing to host the 2014 FIFA Soccer World Cup, South Africa is fully committed to providing support. After all, we understand the challenges. I can boast just a little more, and I think most of us have been in it. The Hout train. It's another major achievement. The efficiency and convenience of the system is best articulated by the 1.2 million people who use it on a monthly basis from the Oliver Original Tambo International Airport. The 2011 17 conference of the parties, COP17, to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change was successfully held in Johannesburg. On 15 July 2012, based on her merit, Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma was elected by the AU Commission as its chairperson, and Dr. Dlamini is the first woman appointed to this post. On 25 May 2012, members of the Square Kilometre Array organization announced that the SK8 telescope would be split between South Africa and Australia. In tourism, in 2013 alone, South Africa recorded 13 million visitors in comparison to the 3 million in 1994. South Africa remains an affordable destination with a variety of experiences. It affords the ever-increasingly popular wine routes, the beaches and the national parks, world-class cuisine, world-class shopping, museums, in particular the Apartheid Museum, and most importantly, our friendly people and warm hospitality. I dare say the South African experience is something every person should aspire to witness at least once in their lifetime. You will not be disappointed. In the area of arts and culture, ladies and gentlemen, South African music tells a unique story, and this story is best told through our music. As is generally said in South Africa, we have our own kind of jazz. It is music that is played in Southern Africa region, on the continent, and indeed on the world stage. Lady Smith, Black Mambazo is a Grammy Award-winning group, while artists such as Miriam Makeba, Hugh Masekela, Jonas Gwangwa, Jonathan Butler, and others are internationally acclaimed artists, to name just a few. In South African music, South African music is associated with our laughter and our tears. Tonight, I'm pleased to introduce to you the Mizu Band from Diranda in Blantyre. Mizu will be playing South African favorites that tell our unique story of struggle, triumph, and freedom. And this music is enjoyed by all South Africans. Stage a series of events aimed at celebrating our achievements. We look forward to your continued support and participation. As you may be aware, the Electoral Commission of South Africa, the IEC, on May 7, 2014, will host the 5th Democratic National and Provincial Elections in South Africa. The High Commission of South Africa in Lilongwe, as part of the overseas votes for the 2014 elections, will host the voting of South Africans living in Malawi tomorrow, 30 April 2014. On the eve of our own elections, I would like to take this opportunity to wish the people of Malawi all success with the tripartite elections that will take place on 20 May 2014. Ladies and gentlemen, the Freedom Day is a day to reflect on past achievements and to assess the current realities and plan for our future. Our future is also tied to the SADC region and the continent. On the African continent, we're diplomatically represented in 47 out of 54 states, and our country, our story is also told there. Second to Washington, D.C., Pretoria hosts the second largest number of diplomatic missions in the world. I believe this speaks to the level of engagement between South Africa and the rest of the world, and importantly, the rest of the world and South Africa. In conclusion, let me also state that this Freedom Day also serves to pledge our commitment to taking relations between South Africa and the Republic of Malawi to the next level through existing and signed agreements. Going forward, we envisage the finalization of unsigned agreements that will lay the basis for continued cooperation and creating further areas of opportunity for mutual benefits. South Africa, ndilokozeka kuthandisa dziko la Malawi. Pamene pangafuka kutero, kazembe wa South Africa ndi ogwira ntchito ake alipo ngati mungafune kudziwa ndi kukambirana. Ndiliwakonda kunena kuti tayamba kumanga ubale ndi amalawi omwe ali mukaula zokopa alendo ndikuti tikwire nawo ntchito pamodzi. Chetoro tinali nawo zokambirana za bwino kambiri. Tikufuna kubona anthu aku South Africa ambiri akwapera kuno kumalawi dziko la mtendere. Allow me to conclude with a quote by Nelson Mandela on the occasion of his inauguration in May 1994. Never, never, never again shall it be that this beautiful land will experience the oppression of one by another. Ndiyabulela, danki, kiyalebuha, niyathokoza, thank you, kiyalebuha, niyabonga, kiyalibuwa, nziyakensa. Just in case you didn't understand what I was saying, I was basically saying, zikomo kwambiri. Minister Chume, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, on this 20 years of freedom for South Africa, I invite you to join me in raising your glasses in a toast to the personal health and general well-being of Her Excellency Joyce Panda, the President of the Republic of Malawi, and the government and the people of Malawi. Cheers.
I'd like to take this opportunity to congratulate the people of South Africa on this Freedom Day, celebrating their 20 years of democratic rule. As a Malawian businessman that has been importing from South Africa for the past 34 years, I am grateful for the strong and successful working relationships that we have developed with our counterparts. The achievement of the people of South Africa over the past 20 years is exemplary as to the direction that Malawi should be striving towards, and that the private sector should be used as a vehicle for economic development. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank South African Airways on the raffle prize, which is a ticket to any destination in South Africa, which I hope to make use of soon to once again visit your beautiful country. Thank you very much.